Good evening to you all. Trust you had a great day. Trust your day went as planned. Well. It's time to have a great conversation, as usual. So I'll start by first and foremost say thank you to everyone that has been part of this series so far. We are still on the before it's too late series. Before it's too late. And we've done 10 episodes already. That's lovely. That's massive. Tonight is episode number 11. Tonight is episode number 11. And the title of this talk is The Future I Refuse to Miss. The Future I Refuse to Miss. We've had great titles so far. Lovely titles. So let's dive into this. I'd like to start tonight with something that I believe a lot of people feel, but a lot of people struggle to say it. There comes a point in life where the deepest pain is no longer just things that happened. It is a fear that if you do not wake up now, it is the fear that if you are not awakened by now, you will lose what is still possible. So I always say the art of what is possible is now a bigger fear. And that fear is kind of different. It is not panic. It is not noise. It is not drama. It is clarity. It is honesty. It is the moment a person looks at the years behind them, look at the patterns they've lived, look at the time they gave away, look at the life they almost missed, and then they say, the rest of my life will not go the same way. That is what tonight is all about. Hey, DeBrano, thanks for joining. How you doing? That's what tonight's talk is all about. The future I refuse to miss. Not the past I regret. Not the years I cried over. Not only the life I almost missed. The future. The future that was still, or that is still in front of me. The peace that is still possible. The health that could still be rebuilt, the relationships that could still be nurtured, the purpose that could still be carried, the joy that could still be recovered, the person I could still become. Because that is the turning point, isn't it? When you stop only mourning what was lost and starts protecting what is left. And some of you right here, you are at that junction. You are at that point. You're no longer asleep. You're no longer fully numbed. You're no longer drifting the same way. No. You're no longer pretending you have endless time. Now you're asking the deeper question. What kind of future am I building from here? What kind of future? What kind of life? What kind of life am I building now? See, that's a powerful question. Because a lot of people live as if the future will just arrive. But friends, the future doesn't just arrive. It is shaped. It is protected. It is chosen. It is built. It is stewarded. The future doesn't just arrive. And tonight, I want to talk to the person who has made a decision deep in their spirit, who has said, man, I've already missed enough. I will not miss what still belongs to my life. Hello, Gautier, De La Gautier, how you doing? I've already missed enough. I will not miss what is still possible going forward. I've already lived a pattern that I can see that made the past what it was. Now, I don't want to leave that pattern going forward. That is the person I want to talk to tonight. As I was looking at this text and putting things forward, I said, hey, Matt, why is it that people lose their future before it even arrives? Why? So a lot of people think they only miss the past. No, that's not true. Some people are missing their future in the present. The future is not yet, we're not there yet, but some people are already missing that future today. And you might want to ask me, how, Matt? How? They're missing their future by living in patterns that are quietly stealing tomorrow. You're living life in patterns that will definitely drift you from your future. You're ignoring your health. You're neglecting your mind. You're neglecting your sanity. You're staying in an environment that drains you. You're avoiding hard conversation about tomorrow, about your tomorrow. You're postponing healing. You're repeating the same cycles all your life. You're spending without wisdom, spendthrift. You're spending emotionally. You're loving without attention. You're even parenting without presence. Living without direction. In that way, the future you've not even arrived, you're already missing it. You're already missing it. See, friends, those things do not affect today. That laundry list I just listed, they don't affect today. They affect tomorrow. They affect the future. Hello, Boys 4. Thanks for joining. And that is what makes this serious. That's what makes them serious. Because some of the things people call just how life is, they are quietly shaping tomorrow they will not want to live in. They are quietly shaping their life in tomorrow that they will not want to live in. This is what this episode had to confront. Not to scare you, not to scare people at all, but to wake you up from that sleep. Because see, if you can see the future's cost of today's pattern, you can still change the direction. Hey, I see you, BC Boys 4. BC Boys 6. How you doing? If you can see the future's cost of today's pattern, of what you're doing, you can still change the direction. Friends, that is what hope is. That is hope. That is hope. Not that nothing has been lost. No. What we're talking about is that direction can still be changed while life is still in your hands. Direction can still be changed while things are still clear. Friends, there was a man who had a very simple but painful realization. He looked at his current habits, how he was eating. Hey, how you doing, man? How he was eating, how he was sleeping, how he was living, how he was reacting, how he was delaying, how he was numbing, how he was letting stress lead his life. And one day he asked himself a question that changed him. If I keep living exactly like this, Where does this lead in 5 years' time? See, that question did something to his mind. Because for the very first time, he stopped looking at his habits as isolated moments. He saw them as arrows to the future. Every habit was pointing somewhere. Every delay was pointing somewhere. Every excuse was pointing somewhere. Every discipline was pointing somewhere. And he realized my future is not random. My current life is taking me there. There is no future that comes out of ether, out of the mass. No, 1,000 times no. The future is the sum total, is the totality of the life you live today. The future they are the patterns you build today. This man noticed, he realized that his current life is taking him to that future. That thought woke him up. Because sometimes people do not change when they see today clearly. They change when they finally see tomorrow honestly. Because today is almost done. You're here now. You can't change a lot. But what about tomorrow? That's what hits people real hard. When they realize this marriage will not heal by accident. No. When they realize this body will not improve by neglect. When they realize this stress will not disappear by avoidance. When they realize this child will not stay little forever. When they realize this opportunity will not remain open forever. This life will not automatically become meaningful. No. This is the beginning of future conscious living. Living your life conscious of tomorrow. You know, while I was thinking about this thought, in my head, I like to play good cop, bad cop, I started thinking, the bad cop in me say, hey, man, come on, what about today? I've not even finished living today. You're talking about tomorrow. And that thought might be in your mind somewhere, at the back of your mind. Matthew, you're too serious. Let me enjoy today. Well, like I always say, you're here now. You're here. Tomorrow is going to come anyway. But I would rather it comes and I'm prepared. That is what I'm saying. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm dishing out this thought in my mind. I'd rather tomorrow meets me prepared than just walking blindly into tomorrow and it becomes another today. I'd rather I have thoughts, I have plans for tomorrow. Because whether I like it or not, tomorrow is going to come. Oh, the future is coming. The world is not ending tonight. The future is coming. I would rather it comes and I'm prepared. See, one thing that separates people who change deeply from people who keep on restarting is vision. Not vague vision, not fantasy. No, not an Instagram mood board. No. Real vision, real one. The ability to see a future worth protecting. The future where you are more present. A future where your mind is clearer. A future where your body feels stronger. A future where your finances are wiser. A future where your marriage is warmer. A future where your children know you. A future where your days are not ruled by chaos. A future where peace is not rare. A future where discipline has become your identity. Friends, it matters. Oh, it matters a lot. Because people do not fight consistently for what they cannot picture. If you cannot see the value of the future, you will keep selling it cheaply for present comfort, for a morsel of bread, because that's all it's worth to you. That is why this episode matters. It is trying to help people recover their relationship with tomorrow. Not to be afraid of tomorrow, not fear of tomorrow. No, value tomorrow, respect it and protect it. There was a mother who spent years thinking only in terms of survival, how to get through the week, how to get through the bills, how to get through the stress, how to get through the next issue. And then one day, she realized something powerful. Her children were not just being cared for by her, they were being molded, they were being formed by her. They were watching how she handled stress. They were watching how she talked to herself. They were watching how she responded to pressure. They were watching whether she rested or not. They were watching whether she honored herself. They were watching whether she believed change was possible. When she realized that, it hit her so deeply, because she saw that her future was not only personal, it was generational. A lot of you on this call, that is what you start thinking. You start understanding that whatever you do is not just for you. The future we're talking about is not just this one life. You're crafting a generation, whether you like it or not. You're crafting the after you, whether you like it or not. Your forebears, your kids are watching you. They are watching how you handle stress, how you handle spending, how you handle life in general. The day I knew that stuff, it boggled my mind. The life this lady was living or was building would become part of the emotional inheritance our children will carry. It will become part of their emotional environment they will carry. They will get into tomorrow, start acting in a certain way and not knowing where that came from, because that was enshrined into them from seeing how their mother handled what she handled. That changed how she lived. That thought changed how she lived. She stopped saying, "It's just me." No, it was never just her. The atmosphere she normalized would become the atmosphere others lived inside. A lot of people need to hear that. The future you refuse to miss may not only be for you, it may also be for people who are learning life by watching how you live your life. Some people hear words like this, or hear words like urgency, and they get nervous. They think urgency means panic. It means rush. It means fear. It means pressure. But friends, healthy urgency is different. Healthy urgency is mature awareness of value. It is saying, "Hey guy, this matters too much to keep delaying it. This relationship matters too much. This health matters too much. This mind matters too much. This season matters too much. This chance matters too much." Healthy urgency is not frantic, it is focused. It is what happens when a person stops treating important things casually. A lot of people do not need panic. They need reverence. Reverence for time. Reverence for love. Reverence for attention. Reverence for purpose. Reverence for the future they still have a chance to shape. That is what makes a person say, I refuse to miss what is still possible. I refuse to miss what is still possible. Let me tell you the story about a person who stopped living like there would always be more time. A person who stopped living like time is limitless. There was someone who always lived with an invisible assumption. He always said and he always thought there's still time. He always lived in that cocoon. He always lived in that world. There's still time. Or there's still time to fix it. There's still time to start. There's still time to reconnect. There's still time to get serious. There's still time to learn. There's still time to heal. There's still time to speak the truth. And one day, life showed them something small but painful. People change. Bodies change. Windows close. Seasons move. Children grow. Parents age. Energy shifts. Opportunities pass. And that day, something became real. There may still be time, but not endless time. Not time infinito. That difference changed them. They did not become afraid. No, far, far from that. They became intentional. That is the kind of person this episode is for. The person who still got time, but no longer wants to treat it casually. One of the things I started looking out for is, while putting this talk together, I said, man, how is this future built? How is this future really built? So I said, okay, you know what? Let me look into that. So I want to talk about that at this point. I want to try to make it clear because a lot of people are like, hey man, you're talking about the future, Lord. How is this future built? See, the future is not usually lost or found in one giant moment. The future is built in ordinary days, ordinary mornings, ordinary conversations, ordinary disciplines, ordinary boundaries. Your future is built in ordinary choices repeated with care. See, that is why ordinary life, it matters so much. Because people often think their future depends on some massive external breakthrough. They expect a big bang and thinking that will change everything. Sometimes it depends more on whether you can stay faithful in days nobody will post online. Whether you can stay faithful in days nobody sees you when you make mistakes. The future you refuse to miss is often hidden inside the morning you protected. The money you refuse to waste. The argument you handle differently. The future is often hidden inside the apology you finally made, the hour you used with intention, the walk you took instead of sitting down and just numbing yourself, the meal you ate with wisdom, the silence you allowed, the lesson you kept learning, the routine you repeated long enough to become identity. That is how futures are built. That is how futures are built. And they are built quietly. Your future is built quietly, not in one big bang. No, it is built quietly. There was a couple who loved each other, but they had gotten used to assuming that staying together meant staying connected. Years passed. Life gets busy, life gets practical, life gets full. They were still committed, still under the same roof, still managing everything together. But the warmth had narrowed down, the warmth had done away. Oh, Jean, go ahead and ask the question. If it's within what we're talking about, I can talk about it. The tenderness in the marriage had faded. The depth had become inconsistent. Then one day, one of them realized something very sobering. If we keep living like this, we may still have a marriage, but we will miss the future this marriage could have had. That thought changed everything, because they stopped measuring the relationship by crisis only. They started measuring it by possibility. The future. What kind of marriage are we building? That was the question they were asking. What kind of emotional home are we creating? What future are our habits taking us towards? Those questions, they matter in every area of our life, not just what is wrong, but what is possible if we become intentional now. What is possible if we decide to live intentional today? The future you refuse to miss is often not only about escaping loss. It's also about honoring possibility, the art of the possible. That's what I always call it. What is possible if I keep being disciplined? What is possible if I keep applying wisdom to spending my money? What is the art of the possible? If you can see it, you can go with it. You can go for it. You can go for it. It is not about living today. It's about living for tomorrow. It's about building an emotional environment that your children will connect into. Those that come after you will connect into. It's not only about you. It's not only about you. See, one of the deepest signs of maturity is when you start loving your future enough to inconvenience your present. You love your future enough to inconvenience today. What a lot of books, a lot of speakers call delayed gratification. A lot of speakers call it delayed gratification. You love your future enough. That's the definition of it. You love your future enough that you decide to inconvenience today. That is what discipline really is. It is not being cold. It's not being miserly. It's not being treating yourself with harshly. No. The love for the future expressed through action, through present action. That is delayed gratification. You go to bed earlier because tomorrow matters. You save because peace matters. You speak honestly because connection matters. You move your body because future body matters. You set boundaries because your peace matters. You say no because what you are building matters. That is what changes a life. Not force, not fight, love. Mature love for what your life could still become. Hey friends, today's talk is not focusing on the life you've lived. Oh man, you don't know how crazy I've lived. I don't want to know how crazy you've lived. I'm talking about what is the art of the possible in the future. What is the art of the possible? And a lot of people have never been taught to think like this. They know how to react. They know how to survive. They know how to manage emergencies. But they do not know how to protect the future as an act of wisdom and love. That is what this episode is trying to teach. There was someone who always felt financial pressure. I think a lot of people today feels this. Not because they made no money, but because money had no structure. Money came in and it went out. Stress followed. Urgency followed. Regret followed. Then one day they realized this is not about money. This is about peace. That changed how they thought. They started budgeting properly. They started saving properly. They started saying no to impulse spending. They started thinking about tomorrow before they spend. They started protecting margins. No matter how small the margin looks like, they protected it. And over time, something beautiful happened. The future began feeling less threatening. The future began to feel less threatening. The future begins to feel less, they started feeling less pressure about the future. That is what many people want, even beyond money. They want a future that does not feel like an ambush. And sometimes the future you refuse to miss is simply the peaceful future you start preparing for now. Like I did say before, the future you're praying for will not come out of the blue. It will not be formed out of ether, out of space. It is what you do today, the life you live today, the patterns you put in place today that is going to metamorphose into that future. The decisions you make today, they are arrows. The impulse spend you spend today, they are arrows. And where are they going to? They are projecting into tomorrow. You're going to meet them in the front. So how you live your life today is what becomes the future you're praying for. So if your future tomorrow is going to be messed up, it is how you live today. It is how you live today. So let's ask this hard question, all right? I always love to ask hard questions. So if you know my channel, we do that a lot. Why do people keep missing what matters? Why? If we agree that it makes sense to build the future we want, it makes sense to plan for tomorrow, it makes sense to live a good life so that tomorrow you're good. But why do people keep on missing what matters? As I was thinking about this, I thought the reason why people keep on missing what matters is because what matters really screams. It really shouts. Peace do not scream. Health does not scream at first until you're broken down. Marriage does not scream at first until everybody packs their bag and go their way. Children changing seasons do not scream until you lose them. Purpose does not always scream. Your inner life does not always scream. But let me tell you what screams: distraction, deadliness, notifications. All these, they scream. Urgent but unimportant things, they scream. So if you build your life only around those things that screams, you keep missing what whispers. You keep missing what talks to you gently. That, my friend, is profound. Because the future you actually want is often hidden in whispers. Whispers like, slow down, pay attention, call the person you need to call, take a rest, tell the truth, start now, protect what you need to protect this, notice that. Don't live this year the same way you lived last year. There's more in you. These are whispers. Don't miss this season. Don't let this become normal. Friends, wise people learn to hear whispers before life had to send them a crisis. Don't build your life around crisis. Don't build your life around emergencies and you start responding when they scream loud. Try to listen to whispers. There was a man. This guy looked at his own pattern. He looked at his pattern. He noticed stress, distance, inconsistencies, emotional absence, reactivity. And then he looked at his children and he realized something terrifying. If nothing changed, he will not just suffer these patterns, he will model this pattern. He will model them. That realization became fear, not guilt. It became fear. Because suddenly the future was not abstract. It had faces, it had names, it had little eyes watching. It had lives being shaped in the environment he was creating. That alone, friends, is powerful motivation. Sometimes people will not fight for themselves, but they will fight when they realize what their unhealed patterns may cost the people they love. And that's not healthy. That's not unhealthy. That's not unhealthy. That's awakening. The future you refuse to miss may not be the future you refuse to pass on in a broken form. It may not be. A lot of people talk about the future as though it is just coming. No. The future is not simply coming. It's being authored. It's being written. And who is holding the pen? Your habits. Who else is holding the pen? Your environment. Who else? Your repeated decisions. Oh, your future is being authored by what you ignore. It's being written by what you protect, by how you love, how you speak, how you spend, how you rest, how you heal, how you think. That means your future is not fully outside your hands. And that's wonderful news. That's great news. The day I knew that, I started being intentional. Your future is not fully outside your hands. Because it means even if you cannot control everything, you can still shape direction. You can still live in a way that says, my peace matters. My family matters. My body matters. My purpose matters. My future matters enough that I will no longer treat it today like it has no consequences. That is one of the deepest forms of self-respect. Self-respect. There was a woman who kept postponing hard things. She postponed difficult conversations. She postponed necessary boundaries. She postponed important changes. Truth she knew needed to be spoken, she kept quiet. Not because she was weak, but because she was afraid of discomfort. Then one day she realized something. Every avoided discomfort was costing her future joy. See, friends, that hit her very hard. Because she's been treating present courage as optional, when really it is the doorway to future peace. The present courage is the doorway to future peace. You know what she did? She began speaking. She began setting the right boundaries. She began choosing differently. She began risking temporary discomfort for lasting alignment. And slowly, life became lighter. Not because people approved it, but because she stopped sacrificing the future to protect the temporary comfort of the present. A lot of people need that sentence. Do not sacrifice your future joy just to avoid present discomfort. Do not do that. Oh, as always, I like to do what I call these affirmations, like things I like to say to myself. I like to say, I refuse to miss my future through drift. I refuse to miss my future through avoidance. I refuse to miss my future through numbing. I refuse to miss my future through endless delay. I refuse to miss my future through small patterns I already know are leading me the wrong way. Because see, some of you have already missed enough. You've missed enough mornings, you've missed enough peace, enough years, enough possibilities, enough connection, enough health, enough clarity. And tonight, it's about drawing the line in the sand. It's about saying the rest of my life will not be lived that casually. I will live with intention going forward. Friends, in this series, episode 1, we talked about the game changed. Then episode 2, we talked about the cost of waiting. Episode 3, we talked about the comfort is quietly expensive. Episode 4, we talked about I thought I had time. Episode 5, the years I gave away. Episode 6, the life I almost missed. Episode 7, the person I was becoming. Whoa, I love that. Episode 8, the day I stopped drifting. That was crazy. Really crazy. Episode 9, the discipline that changed everything. Wow. Episode 10, that was yesterday, huh? The life I started building. And tonight, episode 11, is the future I refuse to miss. And maybe tonight, the deepest message is this: the future is not guaranteed in shape, but is still available in direction. You may not be able to rewrite every year behind you, but you can absolutely refuse to keep handing away the years ahead of you. So protect what matters. Pay attention sooner. Love what is still possible, what is still salvageable. Love it. Honor what is still in your hands. Build like tomorrow matters, because tomorrow does matter. Do that before it's too late. Friends, if this message spoke to you, hit the like button, share it, don't sit on it. Look around you, look for people that needs to hear this, share it with them. And if you've not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. I know I love to see your comments. That's one of the greatest part of my day. I love to see your comments. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know how this is helping you shape your tomorrow. And you know what? We'll still be here, because tomorrow we've got something different, something hot is coming your way. Thank you so much, friends, for your time. Thank you for listening. This is Matt Miller signing out for the night. Do take care. Peace out. Bye for now.